The hidden truth about traveling after 70. What no one tells you. Have you ever caught yourself dreaming of that one last adventure? Maybe it sneaks up on you when you see a glossy magazine photo. Someone your age walking along a sun-kissed beach in Greece, the waves brushing their feet as if time itself has slowed down. Or maybe it's that image of friends laughing over steaming cups of coffee at a Paris cafe, where the air feels lighter, freer, and full of possibility. And in that quiet moment, you whisper to yourself, maybe I still have time, maybe I could still do this. But then another voice slips in, the one you don't admit out loud. The voice that asks, what if I get sick? What if I can't keep up? What if my body just doesn't have the strength it used to? What if, instead of a dream, it turns into a burden? That's the tension no one warns you about, the tug-of-war between your longing for freedom and your fear of the cost. Because let's be honest, it's not just about money. It's about your health, your energy, and your peace of mind. It's about the quiet fear of being far from home when something goes wrong. If that sounds like you, if you've ever wrestled with this fragile mix of excitement and dread about traveling after 70, I want you to know something. You are not alone. Thousands of people at this stage of life feel exactly what you feel. They crave the adventure, the chance to write one more story in their book of life, but they also carry the weight of questions they've never dared to say out loud. And that's why, in this video, I want to walk beside you. Not to scare you, not to clip your wings, but to prepare you, lovingly, honestly, and practically. Because when you understand the 5 truths about traveling after 70 that no one really talks about, you'll see the path more clearly. You'll know how to protect yourself, how to plan wisely, and how to embrace adventure without ignoring the risks. So, take a deep breath with me. Settle in, let your shoulders drop, and let's have this conversation heart to heart. Together, we're going to explore what it really means to chase adventure in this chapter of life. Not with fear, but with wisdom, courage, and dignity. Reason 1. The body keeps the score. When we were younger, travel almost felt like second nature. Missed a night of sleep on a long-haul flight. We bounced back with a strong cup of coffee and a day of exploring. Ate something from a street cart that didn't sit right. A day later, we laughed it off and kept moving. Our bodies were resilient, forgiving, and endlessly cooperative. But after 70, the body begins to speak a different language. It whispers at first, a little stiffness in the knees, a shortness of breath after a climb, a fatigue that lingers longer than it used to. And if we don't listen, those whispers can quickly turn into shouts. Think about it. Your heart, your lungs, your bones, they've carried you through decades of living. They've absorbed every late night, every stress, every celebration, every climb, every fall. They are still strong, yes, but they are no longer invincible. Long flights that once just left us tired can now lead to swollen ankles or even dangerous blood clots. High altitudes that once felt like a thrill can now feel like someone is pressing a weight onto your chest. Even something as simple as forgetting to drink enough water can trigger dizziness, confusion, or a hospital visit in a foreign land. I once met a man named Harold, 72, who had dreamed all his life of walking on the Great Wall of China. For decades, he held on to that vision, the winding stones beneath his feet, the endless horizon ahead. When he finally made the trip, he was determined to climb a section just like the brochures promised. But halfway up, his legs gave out. The sun was relentless, the incline steeper than he remembered, and the thin air unforgiving. He sat down on the steps, embarrassed, and let the younger travelers stream past him. Later, he told me quietly, I thought I could push through like I used to, but my body reminded me that I can't ignore it anymore. That moment broke his heart, not because he couldn't see the wall, but because he felt betrayed by his own body. And yet, it wasn't betrayal. It was a reminder that the body always keeps the score. Every mile, every year, every stress we've endured, it's all stored inside of us. The hard truth is this. After 70, your body demands respect. It will not be bullied into submission the way it once could. You can still go to incredible places, still stand in awe before wonders you've dreamed of, but you must do it differently. You must move slower. You must prepare better. You must learn to listen to the signals your body gives, even when your heart is urging you to push past them. Because here's the paradox. If you ignore your body, it will stop you in your tracks. But if you honor it, truly respect its limits, it can carry you farther than you imagined, with strength, with grace, and with joy. Reason 2. The invisible enemies. Travel isn't just about sights, sounds, and memories. It's also about exposure to new environments, new foods, and, unfortunately, new risks that often remain unseen. When we're young, those risks don't scare us. A bad stomach bug is just a funny story to tell later. A lingering cough feels like nothing more than an inconvenience. The immune system bounces back quickly, almost like a loyal guard dog that never sleeps. But after 70, that guard dog has slowed down. It still fights for you, but it no longer has the same speed or sharpness. Think about the simple act of boarding a plane. You step into that narrow cabin, the air already thick and recycled. The man behind you sneezes into his sleeve. The child, next asterisk to you, coughs and wipes her nose. In your younger years, you might not have thought twice about it. But now, that one sneeze, that one cough, could set off a chain of events that lingers for weeks. Bronchitis, pneumonia, or infections. That once healed in days but now require serious medical care. And then there's food. Oh, food is one of the great joys of travel. The spices of Morocco, the street food in Bangkok, the fresh cheeses of Italy. But behind every exotic dish lies a hidden gamble. A salad washed in local tap water, a piece of fruit not peeled carefully, a street vendor's delicacy that hasn't been cooked long enough. For a younger traveler, it might mean an uncomfortable afternoon. For someone over 70, it can mean days bedridden, dehydration, or even hospitalization in a country where you don't speak the language. I remember speaking to a woman named Margaret, 75, who traveled to India with her daughter. She told me that within 3 days, she came down with what she thought was just a mild stomach bug. But her body couldn't fight it off. Dehydration set in, her energy collapsed, and she spent the rest of her trip in a hospital bed instead of exploring the colorful streets she had dreamed about for years. She said something I'll never forget. I thought I was just being adventurous. I didn't realize how fragile I'd become until it was too late. That's the reality. The enemies you can't see are often the ones that hit hardest. Germs in crowded spaces, bacteria in unfamiliar foods, even changes in climate or altitude. They all land differently on a body that has already spent 7 decades fighting battles we can't even remember. But here's the hope. This doesn't mean you should fear every cough or avoid every dish. It means you must step into the role of your body's guardian. You must become vigilant, protective, cautious in a way you may never have been before. Carry sanitizer. Be mindful of what you eat. Listen when your body whispers, "This feels off." Because no one else will defend your health as fiercely as you can. Travel is still possible. Adventure is still within reach. But to enjoy it, you have to understand this truth. The invisible enemies are always there, and respect for them is the price of safe passage. Reason 3. The weight of fatigue. Here's something nobody warns you about. Sometimes the hardest part of traveling after 70 isn't the journey itself. It's the recovery. When we were younger, a long flight or a packed day of sightseeing might leave us a little tired, sure, but nothing we couldn't shake with a good night's sleep. Jet lag? A minor inconvenience. Walking 10 miles through a new city? Exciting, exhausting, but ultimately invigorating. But after 70, fatigue takes on a heavier, more persistent quality. It's not just that your legs ache or your back stiffens. Your entire system protests. Your body sends constant reminders that it can't bounce back as quickly as it used to. Think about your last experience of being utterly, bone-deep tired. The kind of exhaustion where your muscles feel heavy, your mind foggy, and even small decisions require extra effort. Now imagine feeling that in a foreign country, far from the comfort of your own home, with days of plans and expectations stacked in front of you. There's no pause button. There's no take a day off and reset without feeling like you're missing out. That fatigue doesn't just disappear after a nap. It lingers, clings, and shadows your experience. I remember hearing about Margaret, a spirited woman in her early 70s who had dreamed of touring Italy for years. She arrived, bursting with excitement, ready to eat gelato in Florence, stroll through the Vatican, and watch the sun set over Tuscany. But by the third day, the pace of the tour had overtaken her. Her body, once resilient, now demanded rest. Instead of savoring the streets of Rome, she spent more hours recuperating in her hotel room than exploring the city. By the time she returned home, Margaret admitted, it felt less like a vacation and more like survival. That sentiment resonates with many older travelers. The trip isn't about joy anymore. It becomes about endurance. Travel after 70 forces an unavoidable reckoning. Do you want to see everything, push every limit, and risk being drained? Or do you want to savor what you can, taking in the world at a pace your body can handle? This isn't laziness or giving up. It's wisdom. It's learning to honor your body's current needs, understanding that experiencing something fully often requires slowing down rather than rushing. Fatigue isn't just a physical sensation. It seeps into your emotions and your mindset. It can make new experiences less enjoyable, conversations harder to follow, and even beautiful landscapes feel overwhelming. Recognizing this reality doesn't mean you can't travel. It means travel requires strategy, preparation, and compassion toward yourself. Planning shorter excursions, including ample rest, or choosing destinations that accommodate a gentler pace can transform exhaustion into enjoyment. Ultimately, the weight of fatigue is a reminder that after 70, travel is no longer just about ticking boxes off a list. It's about creating meaningful, sustainable experiences. It's about making every moment count, not by how much you do, but by how deeply you experience it. Reason 4. The hidden financial traps. Let's be honest, travel is expensive at any age, but after 70, the costs can sneak up on you in ways you never anticipated. It's not just the price of flights, hotels, or tours. It's the hidden expenses that can turn a dream trip into a financial headache. Medical costs are the first pitfall. Many standard health insurance plans won't cover you abroad. One minor accident, a slip on a wet deck, a sprained ankle, a sudden illness, can quickly rack up thousands of dollars. Even travel insurance doesn't always include what you might really need: emergency evacuation from a remote region, specialized medical care, or prolonged hospital stays. Then there are the small necessities that weren't an issue when you were younger: upgrading to more comfortable flights or accommodations, paying extra for slower-paced tours, or even cutting a trip short because your body simply can't handle the itinerary. What once felt like luxury now feels like survival. I remember a couple in their late 70s who embarked on a river cruise in Europe, a dream trip they had been planning for decades. The husband slipped on the deck, fracturing his hip. They weren't just facing recovery and hospital bills. They also had to pay for emergency flights home and missed excursions. Their once-in-a-lifetime adventure ended up costing far more than they anticipated, sending their careful retirement planning into a tailspin. These financial realities can be sobering, but they also highlight an important truth. Travel after 70 isn't just about energy or stamina. It's about protecting the stability you've spent a lifetime building. Every decision, from destination to itinerary to insurance, must be made with both joy and caution in mind. The good news? Awareness empowers you to plan wisely, ensuring that your adventures don't come at the cost of financial security. In other words, it's not about giving up on travel. It's about redefining it. Shorter trips, domestic destinations, or all-inclusive packages might feel less glamorous, but they can provide peace of mind, comfort, and freedom to enjoy the experience fully without the lingering shadow of financial stress. Reason 5. The emotional reality. And now, the hardest truth, the one most of us don't talk about. Travel after 70 is deeply emotional. It's not just about the places you go, but the person you are when you go. For many, travel is a declaration. I'm still me. I'm still alive. I still matter. That's powerful. It's exhilarating. But it can also be risky. Sometimes, the urge to see the world isn't purely for joy. It's fueled by fear of aging, fear of invisibility, fear of being left behind by time. The truth is, no trip can make you younger. No passport stamp can erase the years. What travel can offer is connection, beauty, and joy. If you approach it with honesty about where you are in life. That honesty is crucial because it allows you to craft experiences that truly enrich your spirit, rather than simply trying to outrun the reality of your body or the passing of time. Ask yourself a question before you book your next adventure. Do I want this trip because it will genuinely bring me fulfillment? Or am I chasing a sense of youth that no journey can restore? There's no shame in either answer, but understanding your motivation can completely change how you plan. It can guide you to slower itineraries, restful accommodations, or destinations that feed your soul rather than test your endurance. Travel after 70 becomes less about conquering the world and more about savoring it. It's about noticing the subtle details, the smell of fresh bread in a small European bakery, the laughter of children in a bustling square, the quiet majesty of a sunset over the ocean. Those moments are the real treasures. They don't require stamina, speed, or endless energy, just presence and willingness to engage. In the end, travel is less about proving anything to the world and more about honoring yourself. It's about embracing life as it is, with its limitations and its extraordinary possibilities. And sometimes the most profound journey isn't across continents, but into understanding and accepting your own place in the story of your life-losing reflection. So here we are. 5 truths about traveling after 70, laid bare. Your body demands respect. The energy you once took for granted now requires careful planning, pacing, and recovery. Ignoring it can turn a dream trip into a grueling ordeal. The invisible enemies are real. Illness, accidents, and unexpected challenges can strike when you least expect them. Awareness and preparation aren't optional. Their essential. Fatigue hits harder and lingers longer. What used to be exhilarating can now leave you drained, both physically and emotionally. Planning rest into your days is not laziness. It's wisdom. Financial traps can be devastating. Hidden costs, medical emergencies, and extra necessities can add up fast. Smart planning protects both your adventures and your long-earned security. Emotional reality is deeper than just seeing the world. Travel is about connection, presence, and joy, not racing against time or proving something to yourself or others. But I don't want you to leave this feeling afraid. I want you to leave feeling empowered. Awareness is power. Understanding your limits, planning carefully, and honoring your body and emotions can transform your journey into something truly memorable. Maybe for you, that means taking shorter trips closer to home. Maybe it means traveling slower, with built-in rest days. Or maybe it means finding adventure in your own backyard. Because adventure isn't measured by distance. It's measured by curiosity, wonder, and presence. Whatever path you choose, remember this. You haven't missed your chance at life. Your worth isn't measured by stamps in a passport. It's measured by the love you give, the stories you share, and the moments you truly cherish. If this video spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your fears, your stories, or your dreams in the comments. You're not alone. And sometimes, the greatest journey is simply realizing that truth. And if you want more insights, reflections, and guidance for living fully at every stage of life, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of inspiration. Stay safe, stay strong, and if you do travel, travel wisely. Because the world is still full of wonder, and it's waiting for you at your pace.